Have you ever dealt with the super frustrating experience of filing an insurance claim after an injury only to have it denied?
Oh, yeah. It's like insult to injury, right?
It definitely feels that way. Like you've hit a brick wall. But I want to reassure anyone listening, it's not game over just because that initial claim got denied.
Right.
There's still hope. And today, we're going to take a deep dive into what to do when that happens.
Where?
We're using this article from a UK insurance advice website as our guide.
All right. Sounds good.
We'll uncover maybe some surprising strategies, even arm you with some knowledge to give you an edge in any future claims.
Yeah, and what I think is interesting here is that a denial, it's not always the final word.
Right.
There's often multiple paths you can explore. But first, we got to kind of decode why insurance companies deny these claims in the first place.
Okay, so let's crack the code.
Exactly.
This article lays out 5 common reasons, kind of like understanding your opponent's playbook.
Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah. The first hurdle is often coverage issues. So this means the specific injury that you had or the circumstances of the accident, they might not actually be covered under your policy.
So it's really important to know what your policy covers and what it doesn't.
Right.
Don't just assume.
Right. Next is we have delayed treatment.
Okay.
So if there's a gap, like significant gap, between when you got injured and when you actually got medical attention, the insurance company, they might question the severity or even the connection to the accident itself.
Yeah, I can see how that would raise a red flag for them,
Yeah.
It seems like they're always looking for a reason to minimize what they have to pay, right?
Exactly. And this next one, this is where things get a little tricky. Disputed liability. This is when the insurer believes that maybe you share some or all of the blame for what happened.
So like in a car accident, for example.
Right.
They might argue that you were partially at fault.
Exactly. They'll often try to downplay the other party's negligence and, kind of shift the blame to you.
Right.
And that's why things like police reports or witness statements, even photos from the scene of the accident can be crucial.
Yeah, so you're building your defense right from the get-go.
Right.
Okay, what about the next reason?
This was pretty common. Lack of documentation.
Okay.
Insurance companies, they rely on evidence, especially those medical records.
Right.
If you have incomplete or missing documentation, it could lead to a denial just because they don't have a clear picture of your situation.
So even if your injuries are totally legit,
Right.
like really bad record keeping can hurt you.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all about connecting the dots.
Right.
For them, and providing that clear, compelling evidence. That's why it's so important to keep detailed medical records, gather any witness statements that you can, and document every conversation you have with the insurance company, like from the very beginning.
Okay, so evidence is king.
Yeah.
Got it. What's that final reason why they might deny a claim?
This one's a little bit tricky. Pre-existing conditions. So if you have a pre-existing health issue, the insurance company, they might try to argue that your current injury, it's not a result of the accident, but it's actually a continuation of this pre-existing condition that you already had.
So let's say you have a history of back problems.
Right.
And then you're in a car accident and it makes your back pain way worse.
Yeah.
They could just say, well, it's not related to the accident.
Exactly. It's a common tactic they use.
Yeah.
It minimizes their payout.
Right.
But that doesn't mean you're automatically out of luck.
Okay.
The key is proving that the accident actually worsened your condition. And this is where that meticulous medical documentation is so important.
So really detailed medical records, doctor statements, explaining how that accident specifically affected your, pre-existing thing.
Exactly.
Okay, so all that's really important.
Yeah, you need to show a clear link, the accident and the worsening of your condition. Sometimes getting a second opinion from a specialist can really help.
Oh, okay.
Especially if they could address the impact of the accident specifically.
Okay, so let's say the worst has happened. You've gotten that denial letter.
Yeah.
What's the first step? What do you do?
Most important thing, don't panic.
Okay.
And don't just toss it aside.
Don't just throw it in the trash.
Yeah, exactly. Grab a highlighter, put on your detective hat, because that denial letter, it's packed with clues.
I love it.
About their reasoning.
So you're looking for keywords, phrases,
exactly.
Little hints that reveal their strategy.
Exactly. Often the language they use reveals weaknesses in their argument or areas where you might need to provide a little bit more evidence.
Okay, so it's like we're prepping for a legal battle.
Well, in a way, you are. But knowledge is power. And understanding their reasoning is the first step to building that strong counter-argument.
I like it. Okay, so we've decoded the reasons behind these annoying denials.
Yeah.
But let's get down to, what happens when your situation isn't so clear-cut. Like those but what if scenarios that keep you up at night.
Right. Real life is rarely textbook. So let's say you're dealing with a classic car accident, not your fault, but the other driver's insurance is giving you the runaround.
I can practically hear our listeners groaning right now because they've been there. It's like they make you jump through hoops even when you're the victim.
It happens more often than you think. But remember, you're not powerless. Go back to that denial letter. What's the basis of their argument? Were they trying to say you share some liability or maybe downplaying how bad your injuries really are?
Okay, and then I hit them back with my carefully documented evidence, right?
Exactly.
Police reports, witness statements, the whole 9 yards.
This is where your prep pays off. If they're saying, oh, your injuries aren't that bad, you hit them with those detailed medical records, doctor's statements, maybe even reports from specialists or physical therapists.
It was like, see? I wasn't exaggerating.
Right. Evidence beats their skepticism every time. And if they're trying to wiggle out of liability, that's where accident scene photos, witness statements, maybe even dash cam footage if you have it, those become your secret weapons.
So it's all about building that ironclad case brick by brick, leaving no room for doubt.
Absolutely. And don't forget, if the other driver was clearly at fault, you always have that option of going around their insurance entirely and filing a lawsuit directly against them.
Whoa, going straight to the source.
It can be a powerful move, especially if that insurance company is being completely unreasonable.
Please subscribe to our channel for more videos.